Okay, so this video is specifically for an update on the Cannabis Blueberry girls. I've been having problems with this one for quite a while, and I finally figured it out. She may not look like she's having problems, but I usually do a little better than this. The flowers seem to be coming out nicely, very nicely, very nice size. They're about 1.5 inches, 2 inches, and really just starting to get going. As you can see, the color is very light green. What I did was went down into the base. I poked a ton of holes about a week ago, and I dumped in about a half gallon of hydrogen peroxide. Yep, a half gallon of hydrogen peroxide mixed with 2.5 gallons of water, and I let that sit for 3 days. Within hours, I noticed that the leaves were standing up straighter and looking a lot better. The new growth is just a little bit darker than the older growth, which is good. And she started flowering like crazy, so caught up on a few days and not flowering, and just started blowing up. Yep, so then we went ahead and we flushed her about after 72 hours of dry time. After doing the hydrogen peroxide dose, we went ahead and we gave her a light watering with 2 gallons of water, just to move some of the hydrogen peroxide through. And then 48 hours later, we came back in with a mild dose of nutrients, including molasses, blackstrap sulfur-free molasses, and some rice water with a little bit of nitrogen and some other stuff in it. Basically a really mild tea cocktail for her. And she started putting on some big old cones on her for sure. So I've seen improved growth every single day since then. The color hasn't really darkened up much, but as long as I'm seeing the cones, because that's what we're focusing on right now, using the Humboldt Secret. And once again, this is all just for general knowledge. I don't condone anybody under the 18 doing these things, and if you're not over the age of 18, you shouldn't be watching this video or even thinking about doing this stuff, even though I did when I was that age. But don't do as I do, definitely. This girl, as you can see, she is much darker and looks totally different from this girl. Totally different. Same strain though, so it's kind of crazy. This one's putting a lot of 3 leaves off, and that's kind of it, which is really weird for this plant. Just some different genetics between the two of them for sure. I mean, they're both blueberry, I think. They came out of the same container, but out of the 300 or 400 blueberry seeds that I managed to salvage, there are probably about 10 to 20 oddball seeds that I've collected from just friends that have given me stuff over the years. And one of those may have actually made its way in. This one smells a little bit different than this one over here, but like my friend in the UK said, same plant, just slightly different looking smell. I think that's what we got going on here. Yeah, this one smells way more skunky. Not really any of the blueberry smell, which is weird. This time of year, usually the blueberry smell is really prominent on both, would be on all my blueberry plants, but this one is the only one. Yeah, so she's definitely got a blueberry smell to her. This one, however, is just skunk. It's like poo-poo. She smells like the poo-poo. God, I love that smell too. The skunky poo-poo. Yep. Both of them are sativas. That's the only thing I ever smoked, so I know for a fact they're both going to be sativas. But so the hydrogen peroxide definitely pulled her out of the woods. It looks like, I mean, she's kicking ass in the flowering department, no doubt. I mean, she's easily 4.5 feet across. I'd say 42 inches tall from the ground up. So she's a fat mama for sure. I screwed up this year, and I thought I had about another 2 to 3 weeks. So I snipped the top just so I could end up with 2 big old flowers, which is what I do every year. And I end up with 2 massive colas because I train them up. And I know some of you out there are going to be like, oh, it doesn't work. Well, I've done it. And I've been growing for 27 years or something like that. I've got about 27 seasons under my belt. So, yeah, I don't know. You can take my word for it or not, but it's up to you. But I usually end up with 2 big ass nugs on top. And this year, quite literally within 4 days of popping the top. And speaking of popping the top, we're going to remove that one right there. Yeah, there she is, popping the top. She went into the stretch, so I was bummed. You can literally see how many days it is right there. So I literally popped the top, and that's 9 inches from right in the elbow of the top there. You can see. Oh yeah, right there. But they look good. Flowers are looking good, a little bit light green, but it's weird. I had a dream about having a light green weed plant weeks before this happened. Actually, it was like a week before it happened. I ended up having a dream, and I was like, oh, I like that lime green weed. I missed that from when I was a kid. And now I've got a plant that's all super lime green. And then I've got one over here that a friend of mine and I are splitting, but I'm doing all the growing. And she's looking dappy doodang. She's got big old chunky nugs on her, big old chunky knobs for sure. And this week is going to be a big week for her. She just doesn't know it yet, but it's coming. And as you can see, the soil is all super dry. I did go around, and once a week I do poke holes around the outside to make sure she's getting all the oxygen, because we have a very silty mixture here, so it gets really compact, and it makes big problems for the roots and can cause root rot really quick, which is why I did the hydrogen peroxide on this girl. So she got inundated with root rot for sure. I know because as soon as I put the hydrogen peroxide, within hours she was perked up and happy again. So we've been letting her dry out a whole lot more than we've been working on her. But yeah, we'll make sure that we're on top of that. We're cutting back on the my usual schedule is fertilizer one day, fertilizer the next day, water, fertilizer, water, and then dry. Now we're doing fertilizer, water, dry, fertilizer, water, dry, fertilizer, water, dry. So she's getting a lot more oxygen to the roots, and that will clear up this issue that I'm having. It's already started to. So yep, I will know 100% for sure by, I want to say, Wednesday, if I'm correct, but I anticipate being correct. None of the other things I was doing I was sure of. I just felt like I was missing the head on what was going on with her until, yeah, the oxygen to the roots is a big problem. You got to make sure your plants are getting oxygen. And even though I used topsoil for the original planting, over time all this silty soil kind of moved in, and that's what's causing the problem. So got to poke those holes around the outside, make sure she's getting oxygen, both of them, and then make sure they have a good day to breathe every 3 days, and then just power her through it. I'm not worried about the quantity of flour. I absolutely easily will do 3/4 of a pound off of just this one. I know that because I usually do about a pound, and they're usually about exactly this size. So, and this one, I don't know if I'll do that much on her, just because she was supposed to be being grown by my friend. He was supposed to be giving me tips and tricks, and I don't know what the deal is. I know he was just short of finances, so he couldn't really throw anything to him, so maybe he just threw it aside and said whatever. But I ended up taking over all the fertilization. He got me one little thing. He got me this stuff to grow, which after I let her dry out, because she was suffering from the same thing, overwatering. I overwatered her, and she had root issues, and that's why she's growing all the 3 levers. So she had a mild root rot going on, but I let her dry out for a week, and she came back to life and just blew it up. But she went into flower a month early, so she was in flower at the beginning of June, which is really freaking weird. It was until I realized that that tree right there causes so much shade because the sun goes this way. Yeah, so she was getting way too much water for the amount of sunshine she had, and since they're not moving, yeah. Anyways, plus this is my first year growing in the ground. I always grow in big pots, whether they're 5 or 10 gallon pots or even bigger. But this year, that's what I grew in. So, yeah, we're figuring it out though. And when she comes back to life, and I give her a little newt burst, which is already prepared here. So this is a full cocktail. I did use a little bit of Viragrow in here just because of the nitrogen, a couple other small things. I generally stay away from anything that's not organic, but since it's here and I wanted to give her just a light nitrogen boost and really monitor what she gets, especially since we're in flower, I decided that I would make it here. So this cocktail is Epsom salt, molasses, a tiny bit of rice fermenting in there. She's got a bunch of good stuff. It's my home remedy with some of the organic stuff in there too. And then I put down a little bit of organic fertilizer granules around the base. So when I come back and water tomorrow, which I will be doing because she'll be all nice and dried out tonight, she'll get a huge breather that she really, really needs. And I expect, like I said, by Wednesday, I expect to see much darker colored leaves. Now these are already way darker than those ones coming out now are way darker than all the other lime green shit that's going on here. But we'll pull her out of it. We always do. Every year we pull them out. I've only had 1 year that I didn't even give a crap because I still had like 6 pounds left over from the year before. And considering I really don't smoke, I'm more of a trader with it. The stuff is amazing for trading. But I love the look of this one. You can see those. Can't even tell if my phone's on. I think it's on, but I love the way this looks. It's super crystally. It smells so good. Oh, it really does. Not as skunky as her though, that's for sure. All right, well, we got our weekly check-in on the weed. If you guys have any questions, comments, make sure you put them down below. I love chatting with people. Dude in the UK, Tiffany, shout out. I hope everything works out. BlueBerry can be such a hard plant to deal with, but there's one thing that I forget every year, and it causes the yellowing, is I overwater. I have to remind myself every stinking year that these plants do not need as much water as all the other ones. They like to be on a as needed basis, not on a regular schedule. So I would just say wait until your leaves are drooping and then give them water. I know that kind of sucks. It's nice to be able to do everything all at once and have everything on the same plan, but my experience with growing not just these blueberry strain but other blueberry strains, blueberry always has that watering issue. It just doesn't need water on a regular basis. It is literally only as needed. So that's my experience. Hopefully that works for you guys if you're having a problem. I love you all, and peace. Hi.